As a founding member of the Wu-Tang Clan, GZA revolutionized hip-hop with his lyrical depth. But beyond the mic, he's a science enthusiast, merging art and intellect. From rap battles to cosmic theories, GZA's work proves that hip-hop and science share a powerful connection. Now remember, this is education mixed with entertainment. So with that being said, let's analyze this train of thought accordingly.
So let's begin this by stating that GZA's Liquid Swords was an incredible album, and it has truly stood the test of time. GZA is also part of arguably the best hip-hop group of all time. And it also introduces us to GZA's fascination with science. So let's go back to whiteboard animation.
GZA's iconic album, Liquid Swords, is a masterpiece of storytelling, weaving philosophical and scientific themes into hip-hop. Tracks explore the complexity of the human mind, drawing metaphors from physics and astronomy, proving that rap can both be entertaining and intellectually stimulating.
So Liquid Swords, it introduces us to GZA's fascination with science. It also introduces us to some great double entendres, which is evidenced on the song labels, but I digress. In one sense, this is a massive indication. It's a massive indication for GZA's passion for science. So let's go back to whiteboard animation.
In his TED Talk, GZA explored the connection between creativity and science, highlighting how curiosity drives innovation in both. He shared his vision of blending hip-hop with education to make science more relatable, stating, "The genius of science lies within the creativity of the arts."
So in his TED Talk, we establish that GZA has a relationship with science, and we also establish that his fascination goes far back to his childhood. And GZA states that as a child he was scientifically curious. And he was scientifically curious because he was asking questions like, what makes the grass green, and why are some metals magnetic while others are not? This shows that GZA is presenting himself not only as a rapper, but a rapper that has a passion and understanding for science. And he wants to share that passion, he wants to share it with the world. This could create the label of not only a hip-hop scientist, but a hip-hop intellectual. Now the question, what is a hip-hop intellectual, is a good question, but it's a deflection, so we're going to move on. Anyway, this of course gives further credibility to GZA being called a genius. In his TED Talk, GZA explains the notion of describing science through raps, and this leads to his Science Genius program, which was a collaboration with Christopher Emdin. And for those that don't know, Christopher Emdin is a teacher, has a PhD, and is an author of several books. Another important thing GZA is doing is that he's making science accessible to underrepresented communities. It's extremely important that everyone can access good information, because information, or should I say good information, can empower us. Anyway, let's now discuss GZA's influence on students.
So GZA joined forces with educator Christopher Emdin to create the Science Genius program, using hip-hop as a bridge to STEM education. Through rap battles focused on scientific concepts, students connect with topics like biology and physics in an engaging way. This innovative approach breaks barriers, making science accessible and relatable for diverse audiences.
Now for those that don't know, STEM fields stands for science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Now, I feel that Jizza's collaboration with schools and universities, it's important, it's essential. Why is it important? Why is it essential, you may ask? It's important because Jizza is part of arguably the greatest hip-hop group of all time. And by associating his brand to science, that makes, by default, science cool. And this will draw people closer to science and closer to education. And education, when mixed with the opportunity to think clearly, ask questions, and develop your own mind, is powerful. Matter of fact, it's extremely powerful. Now remember, the Wu-Tang Clan was a very masculine group, and their appeal, it was multifarious. For example, it blended hip-hop with chess and kung fu, amongst other things. And this also says a lot. It says a lot about Jizza to put himself in this new battlefield and embrace science on this platform. It shows that he's courageous.
So Jizza actively engages with schools and universities, using his platform to inspire students to embrace curiosity and creativity. Through workshops and talks, he connects hip-hop with science, showing how art can make learning exciting. In his Star Talk interview with Neil Degrasse Tyson, Jizza shared his love for the cosmos, discussing how science influences his music. The two explored the parallels between the creativity of art and the precision of science.
Now, collaborating with Neil Degrasse Tyson gives intellectual credibility. It also takes courage to stand with someone that is considered a scientific intellectual. So you have this combination of courage and further developing the genius brand. The Wu-Tang Clan consists of many elements, whether it's chess, kung fu, Staten Island culture, hip-hop culture, mafia culture, as well as some very strong masculine elements. Also, the Wu-Tang Clan represents science. It's important to note here that hip-hop often takes words and changes its definition. For example, science in the hip-hop context could mean philosophy, history, psychology, knowledge, or science. Here is a personal opinion. Intellectual curiosity is important for hip-hop culture. Unfortunately, and it's very unfortunate, hip-hop collaboration with capitalism, I would argue, has affected the artwork in a negative way. As with most things, when they become business or when they become corporate, the emphasis becomes about money as opposed to providing value. But Jizza is providing value while navigating in the capitalist ocean. In this sense, he has found a blue ocean, and I mean that in the figurative sense. And this is not just important for hip-hop, it's also important for education. Hopefully, Jizza's contribution will inspire more people to engage with science. Also, hopefully it will inspire real lyricism in hip-hop culture. Real lyricism, for those that don't know, is when you write raps with purpose and intention. Your lyrics are like a painting, and you're trying to create a captivating experience. So as I was wrapping this up and finishing this video, I asked myself the question, and that question was, why is it important to promote science? And I came up with this answer. So science has given us many discoveries. This is a random one. Think of penicillin, the first antibiotic that saved millions of lives. And through science, we discovered DNA structure. Now, why is this important? It's important because genetic instructions determine the traits and the functions of all organisms. And science helps us. It helps us to understand things. And understanding things reduces us suffering the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is what Neil Degrasse Tyson defines as knowing enough to think you're right, but not knowing enough to know you're wrong. And science It drives technology. Think of smartphones. Think of the smartphones and think of space exploration. Of course, many argue that science's relationship with capitalism is one of total innovation, and I would agree. And some may argue it's of total destruction. Perhaps it's a combination of both. But science gives us answers to simple questions. We know, because of gravity, objects fall to the ground. And we know humans exhale carbon dioxide. These are scientific questions, and also scientific answers. I say that to say this. Jizza promoting science is essential, it's beneficial, and it's important for the culture and the community.
So in conclusion, Jizza's journey bridges the worlds of hip-hop and science, proving that creativity and intellect can coexist seamlessly. As a founding member of the Wu-Tang Clan, he used his lyrical genius to captivate audiences while incorporating profound themes of science, philosophy, and education. Through his TED Talk, STEM collaborations, and influence on young minds, Jizza has redefined what it means to be an artist and an educator. His dialogue with icons like Neil Degrasse Tyson further highlights his role as a cultural bridge between art and knowledge. By inspiring a new generation of artists and thinkers, Jizza leaves an enduring legacy that encourages us to stay curious, think deeply, and embrace the limitless potential of the universe. Now, because I want you to think as opposed to telling you what to think, here are 3 questions to consider. Question number 1. How does Jizza's use of scientific themes in his lyrics challenge traditional perceptions of hip-hop? Question number 2. What impact has the Science Genius program had on STEM education, particularly in underrepresented communities? And finally, question 3. In what ways can the integration of art and science inspire innovative approaches to learning and problem solving? So that's the end of today's journey. Now, if you want to support the channel, like, subscribe, and watch the content. And with that being said, I sincerely hope this video has provided value.